Here we are in the application, and let's have a look at the configuration worksheet. You can open it by going into the Tell Me feature and look for configuration worksheet. The worksheet opens, and it's in this worksheet that we will define the tables we would like to use. Later, we will assign them to a package and have a look at the data. So for example, to include a table, I can use here the table ID or the table name. But to be able to include a table, as you can see, I need to put the line type to a table. Once we do that, we can select a table. For example, I will select my customers. All right, so I would like to use the customer table to import and or export data. And of course, I can also include other tables like, for example, GL accounts. Very simple. There are a number of columns which we have available, and one of these columns is the promoted table. And by doing that, if you have multiple tables in your worksheet, you can always go into the show menu and filter on the promoted tables. This is a very interesting feature if you have a lot of tables in here and you would like to filter on one of those. Once we will create packages, configuration packages, we can use this column to assign a table to a package, and we can also have a look here if there are actually already lines created for that package. Now, doing importing and exporting of information using configuration worksheets can be assigned to multiple users, so I can also assign a responsible ID for this or that user, and then I can also use this status field to determine what still needs to happen for this table. For every table that we include, we can also assign a page ID and a name to specify, for example, which page that needs to be used to show that information. And I can also have a look how much records currently are in the table. To specify columns that we would like to export or have a look at the data, we will use the package and not the worksheet. So by doing this, I can include one or multiple tables in the worksheet. And if, for example, here there is a table with some related data, then I can also have a look here in the actions, as you can see, to go into the functions and find those related tables. I know that the GL account has some related tables because if I open the fact box, you can see that here that there are a number of related tables. So to be able to visualize those related tables, you go into functions and then you select the get related tables option. The system will then also assign these tables. If, for example, there is a certain table that you don't want to be a part of the configuration worksheet, you can delete them here from the worksheet one by one or by selecting multiple lines. Once we have multiple tables in the worksheet, it can be interesting to group these tables. In order to do that, I will include a new line, for example, and I will give it the name group. And then I will say, for example, this is the master data in my package. So I have a new line. And then right below the master data, I will again include a new group, as you can see, where I will specify I have the other data. And by doing that, you will see that all of the tables in the configuration worksheet can be grouped, making it easier to work and use this worksheet. Let's see how we can assign the data which is in our configuration worksheet to a configuration package. First, let's go to the configuration worksheet, and here we see that we have a number of tables in that worksheet. These tables are in here for demonstration purposes. In real life, I might want to add some more tables. In order to assign these tables to a package, all I need to do is select all of them. I can do that using the Ctrl-A shortcut. Then I need to go and have a look in the functions, and what I need to use then is the assign package function. When you click the assign package function, this window opens in which I can select a pre-existing package, but I can also create a new one. So let me create a new entry, and let's call this my package, for example. Once I have done that, my package in the code and in the description, I now have the possibility to go back and, of course, select my package. If I do that, what you will notice is that the package code has now been assigned to all of the tables in my worksheet, and I can also see that the package exists. So from now on, these tables are a part of my configuration package. Once my tables are in the configuration package, like for example here the customer table, you will notice that some extra functionality becomes available in the configuration worksheet. And what I'm able to do, for example, is to assign dimensions as columns in for this table. So what I now can do is I can enable this checkbox. Then I get a question that maybe some other tables might need to be included in the package, and if I confirm that, these tables will be included in the package, and now I will also have the possibility to see my dimensions as columns, for example, in the tables which are in my package. So from the configuration worksheets, I now have the possibility to go and have a look at the configuration packages. So let me open my configuration package, which I used in this worksheet, and I can see every table that I assigned to this package. Of course, there is still a possibility to remove some tables or to include tables. And if I go and have a look here, I can see, for example, my gel account table is in here, the customer table is in here, and there are also a number of database records available. This means that, for example, for my gel accounts, all of the gel accounts will be in my package, including also every customer. Now you can make some changes in here. For example, if you don't want these customers to be in the package, then you can go and position yourself on the customer line, and there are a number of functions available. For example, we can include some filters, which I will do now for my customer table. And I have the possibility to apply a filter on one or multiple fields. And what I will do right now is I will use the customer number in the customer table, and I will apply this filter, implying that the field needs to be empty. So by doing that, I will say that only customers where the number is empty and there are no customers with an empty number will be included in this package. So that means that this package will not contain any customer data. By going into the table filters, you can assign and remove filters, so you can specify in detail which data needs to be available in the package. Alright, once we decided which tables you would like to use and which fields and filters, I can now go out of the package card and will see the list of configuration packages. And what I can do right now is, for example, export this package, which will create a rapid start file. If I click the export package function, my package will be exported with all of the tables and data inside. After the package has been exported, you can have a look at it, and a rapid start file has been generated, which is basically an XML file which contains tables and data. And I can use this package now to create a new company.